Hey everybody, welcome to another One Good Turn video, where we bring you a virtual overview demo of some of the current games on crowdfunding and upcoming retail releases. Today I'm joined with Ayden from Dranda Games. How you doing, bud?
Yeah, good man. Yeah.
Hey man, we've got Isle of Trains, which originally designed by Dan Keltner and Seth Joffrey. I can never say those names right anytime I do these. 2014, looks like, yeah man, cool.
There's
There's
a
the
new
new and
one.
improved version. We've got some fun changes. I played this a while ago, but I like what I hear that you've done. Some solo stuff. We've got new ways to score, right?
Yeah. Passengers, whole new passenger expansion, new cabooses, new buildings, whole new art work to bring it up to the standard of this game.
Standards,
We
right?
really like to make it fit the weight. So yeah,
Cool.
lots of new things going on.
Very cool. Very cool. Why don't you tell the people watching what this game is all about?
So this game is about an Isle of Trains, and you are the conductor of a train, and you are trying to become the most famous train conductor on the whole island. So yeah, that's what you're doing.
Real
You're
simple.
competing against Yeah, you're competing against everyone else to build a train, kind of like a tableau in a little engine builder, and you want to load your goods onto your train. And you want to go and collect contracts because you need to deliver these goods to other places. And you have passengers as well, and they kind of work similar. You want to bring them onto your train, but you also want to deliver them to stations. And when they get to the stations, they give you some really powerful bonuses. So, yeah, a lot going on there.
Very cool. That's let's jump to the table and people can see what's going on here. So
Sure.
let me get the right key. Whoops. What do you want to start with? Tableau? You want to go over the board?
Yeah, well, if we yeah, good point. So yeah, we'll start with the board. So the board is made of these cards, and these are your contracts that I was talking about. So if you look on the left side of them, they've got a primary contract, and that's the resources that you need in a card. So the one you've just zoomed in on there is 2 coal. We need 2 coal to do that.
Right.
So there's a few of those. There's 7 in total. You only use 6 of them for a 1 to 3 player game, and that's the 4th player. This contract up here.
There's only 7 in the game total, or
Yeah. There's only
okay.
7 in the game total. So yeah, if I come to the cards, and I can tell you how you get that coal, right?
Right.
That's how you're going to get your points. And now we need to kind of figure out how we're going to get those cards. So down here, this is my little engine that I've already started building. We're a few rounds in, and each card has a load of different things going on. So these are multi-use cards. So if you look in like the top left-hand corner of one, it's got the points value. So my engine's my beginner engine, is not worth any points, but that's okay because it does some other stuff. It's got a value, so how much it costs in what is currently the bottom left corner. So that one's worth 1. It costs 1 to build. It's got the resources it's worth. So this one's worth every resource. And that is located at the bottom, and it's also located on the side. And then we've got a weight pull. So this engine can pull up to 4 weights. So at the moment on my train, I've got another car that weighs 1 and another car that weighs 1. So I've still got an extra 2 left over. So I'm okay with this engine for a while. And then
I get it.
Here.
I wanted to jump in. So that's cool. Yeah. The weight is how many cards you can have.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
So if we had a different engine, I don't know if we've got one up here. So if I had this one instead, now it's 6, and it's not always how many cards you've got as well. If I had this one,
that one's gonna. Yeah, I see what you're saying. Some cards are gonna be more, right?
Yeah. So the better cards you get, the better engine you need to be able to pull the better cards.
Very cool.
So yeah, you've got your weight going on. Then you've got the resource that was down in the bottom corner, just shown again on the side. Up here is a meeple. So if I built this one, I'll talk about building in a minute, but if I built this one to replace that engine, I'd automatically get to draw a passenger from the passenger bag.
Ah.
And now I've got another passenger ready to be loaded. And then up here is a power. So at the very, very top, it says that I can have one of whatever this is, which is a meeple, in here. So that's how much it could hold. So it could hold one. I could load one into there. So I could do that. But what I might want to do is go over to your engine. So if we go over to your engine, and if I loaded it into yours, you'd get that. And why would I want to give you my passenger? Well, simple reason is if I do that, I get to draw 2 cards. So the powers that are on your engine, you don't get to use your own powers. They're for other people to use.
Really? That's very neat. Okay.
Yeah. So you'd be looking at. So if I did that, it's the same. If I loaded this, I'm not sure what this is. This is coal, oil. So if I loaded this in here,
Northern Star.
That's not going to get me anything other than one step closer. I've got some oil and one step closer to get one of those contracts we talked about that's the island. But I might want to, if it was you might want to load it into my engine instead.
I forgot about that aspect. Yeah, that's really cool. Yeah. So you're given the powers are in your opponent's hand that you want to use.
So
what?
I'm trying to entice you to give me your cards,
right?
So then I can go get the contract.
That's very cool. How do we get cards?
But by you doing that, you're going to get awesome abilities,
right?
So that's a brief overview of the game. So on your turn, you've got I think it's 4 actions off the top of my head. I should really know that by now.
You should.
It's okay. I'll run through them. I'll go. There's a 5th.
For those watching, it's late for Ayden and I. It took forever to get lined up, so it's all good.
Yeah, that's why I'm saying dark. It's so it's there's 4 actions. So you can just take a card, right? So you can take one off the draw pile that's up here. Not a problem. And on your turn, you get 2 actions. So I could take a card. Or instead of that, I could have loaded something onto your engine. So loaded onto here. I loaded this meeple. That's going to give me 3 cards and a victory point. So I can, instead of just drawing 1 card, that's why you're enticed to give people other stuff, because it's going to get me more stuff quicker. And the reason
would you have to pay a coal on that one? It said 1. I see the meeple plus 3 cards plus 1 star.
Plus 1 victory point. So I'd get a victory point from yeah. So
what was the coal? Does that need to be given to?
No, there's no coal on that card.
I'm tripping. What am I seeing? Oh, I guess that the 1 symbol is that the worker.
You're looking on this bit.
Yeah. No, I was looking at the. I was looking over here.
No, that's just to tell you how many it can store. So this card can store 1 meeple. The card next to it can store 2 boxes.
Okay.
So this one can store 2 boxes, right?
Okay.
So yeah, that's all that one is. So yeah, you can take a card. That's 1 action. You can load. So that's what I've just done there. I've loaded, or we did it earlier with the oil on my engine to get cards that way. So you can load, draw a load. You can build. Like I said before, these are multi-use cards. They're used for everything. So in my hand at the moment, I bring this card back. You start off with 5 cards, and at the end of your turn, you have a hand limit of 5 as well. So I might go, right, I really want more coal. So I'm going to stick this here. Now, the value of it down here is 4. So I need to discard 4 cards. And that's my hand gone then. So I built this awesome hopper, level 2 hopper, but it's cost me all my cards. So your cards are your currency.
I love that.
But what I could also do instead is, instead of paying 4 to do that, I've already got a level 1 hopper there. So I'm going to get rid of that one and build this one. And I'm going to pay the difference. So where it was 4 and that one was 1, I now have to pay 3.
Oh, so if you discard one, you can discard a higher cost one and make stuff cheaper too.
Yeah, so if you've already got a lower level card, you pay the difference. So whereas this
Okay.
one costs 1,
You're like
and this
upgrading
one
it,
costs
yeah.
4, you're upgrading it, yeah. So you're not paying the whole whack,
Very cool.
which allows you to get up to the big ones quite a bit easier than paying for it all in one. Because like I said, you've only got a hand limit of 5 at the end of your turn. If you're really lucky, or you plan your turns well, you'll end your turn with 5 cards, and then you'll go do something like, right, I'm going to go and load this box over on Thomas's engine, and that's going to give me 4 cards. And now on my turn, I've got 9 cards in hand for my second action, and I'll be able to build something awesome.
So you can break that because it was on my turn, right? Or at the end of your turn, you played it, and then...
Yeah, because you get 2 actions on your turn. If at the end of my turn, I've got 5 cards, and then it goes to your turn, you do whatever you're doing, and then when it comes back around to my turn, I've now got 2 actions, and I've already got 5 cards. I'm going to load something into your engine, get myself another 4 cards. That brings me up to 8, and I've still got 1 action left, so now I can build something epic.
Right.
So that's another way of getting all the really good stuff. So yeah, we've taken the card, we've loaded, we've built. The last thing you can do is deliver, and this is where we're going to get all of our contracts and meeples and stuff in the center. So I'm going to just say, for argument's sake, we go to your engine. It'll be a bit easier. Let's put that under there. So in a few rounds, I've given you some stuff, or you may have loaded it in yourself, something like that. You've got 2 boxes in there. I've loaded this meeple on here, and it's the start of your turn. So you might go, okay, well, what I'm going to do is I'm going to load this meeple on here, in a couple of cards, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to deliver. So the goods that are in here, you're going to discard these, and they go in the discard pile, and that's 2 boxes, and in the center, for 7 points, is a contract that costs 2 boxes. So you're just going to take that, and that is now yours. No one else can have that.
Very cool.
Yeah. But the thing, and what happens then is this train moves up 1, and depending on the player count, whatever number this gets to, depending on the player count, it triggers the end of the game. So if we're playing a 2-player game, it's going to be when it gets number 4, that triggers the end of the game. But also now you've got this contract. You can't take another contract from the center until you've completed one of the secondary objectives on this side. So you're now locked into this until you complete one of these. And once you've done that, you just flip it over, and whichever one you've done, that's how many points you get. So the secondary contracts are what's going to get you a huge amount of points. But if I go back to... sorry, you got a question, or you?
No. I'm just trying to follow along. Cool. Yeah, I like the variability of. I'm just thinking about the strategies. So so you pay goods for the contracts, right?
Yeah.
So you're using cards to pay for other cards, using cards to be goods, and you're using cards to be abilities and the other players, right?
Yeah, you're using them for practically everything.
Right. It's the currency.
But if I go back to delivery, what I missed was we paid 2 boxes to take this. You're delivering to Camp Engels. So that's orange. You've got 2 orange meeples as well, but they want to get off there as well. So whilst you're delivering to pick that up, you're going to drop these guys off as well, and these guys are going to get you some powerful bonuses. This one's going to get you a free load action. You can load a good into your own engine or a meeple. And just drop that one in there. And then you've got another orange you can deliver as well, which is going to get you another load and another card. And when the station fills, if we had 3 meeples up, this would move again. So then we'd be on 2. So you could potentially get us halfway through the game just with 1 action.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's pretty powerful, right? So I don't know if you've covered. So what's the end game? The end game is depend on the number of players. Is it how many points, or is it what's the trigger up here? Not points.
So if you take a contract, this train moves. If a station gets all 3 meeples on its station,
that moves the train.
Moves.
Okay.
And depending on what the player count is, will trigger the end of the game.
Gotcha. So it's doing the contracts. Okay.
Yeah, so 2 players would be after 4 are gone, 3 for 5, and 4 for 6. And everyone just gets one more turn when it happens.
Very cool.
Yeah.
So what changes for those who have played this before? Obviously, well, I'll let you tell. What's the main key points that are different for anybody who's played this? Sorry.
Mechanically, like your core is the same, but there's some huge differences. So we've kept that nice crunchy feel of you've got your tableau going on, your engine building, multi-use cards. That's all still there. What's radically changed, is these stations and these passengers. This is all new. So before there was no passengers and there was no stations. So you've got now all these powerful abilities. You've got all the engine, the passenger cars. There are new buildings, which I've not talked about yet. But there's buildings. There's cabooses, which we've not talked about those yet.
Well, let's talk about them. What's the buildings?
Cool. I'll see if I can find some. Okay, that was easy. So buildings are... Oh, there's a caboose. That's simple enough. So buildings are quite simple. They're just endgame points, right? So if you can build one of these, you can only ever have one building. But if you build a building at the end of the game, whatever it says is the amount of points you get. So when you take it for this one, for example, for every coal you've got on a contract you've taken, you get 2 points.
Sorry, 1 second. This one?
I could end up
the coal factory?
Maybe no points. You might end up with 10 points. Usually it averages out to about 8. So if you can get more than 8, you've done really well. And yeah, I think we've added in 4 or 5 new buildings into the game, so which all interact really nicely with these stations. I'd say we've added them in. Dan and Steph have designed some really nice buildings.
That's cool. So that's another way to score. What's the caboose?
The caboose. So caboose are you build them in the same way as your train cars, and you add them to your tableau in the same way. They take up weight in the same way. But what's special about these is these give you special abilities. So this one is every time if I built this, every time I load a passenger onto your train or my train, I get to draw an extra 2 cards.
Okay.
So yeah, they all give you special abilities, and I think there's a handful of extra ones of those as well. So yeah, lots of new stuff, new passenger expansion, new station expansion, new passenger cars, new buildings, new cabooses. The art style has been completely redone by Dennis, who's done a fantastic job on it. And then there's a playmat as an optional extra.
And you've added solo modes, right, too?
Yeah, no, thanks for reminding me of that. I did forget that.
No problem.
I've spent the last few months designing 2 solo modes.
2?
Yeah, we got 2. So I asked one of the board game groups, what's the board game group, the solo one that you run?
Oh, BG41.
Yeah, I asked him there, like, what do you prefer? Would you prefer a beat your own score, or would you prefer some scenarios and campaigns? And it was pretty split. Like people like, I really hate campaigns, and then other people's like, I really hate beat your own score.
Yeah, it's both. A mix, man. Like I solo game, obviously, that's why I started it, because I can't always, get people together. But yeah, I like beat your own score sometimes, especially with games like this, because you're just trying to crunch the numbers. But then, so the other option's a campaign.
So the other option's campaign,
okay.
Yeah, and there's 10 chapters, and they all work very differently to each other. And
like little scenarios to do.
That mission.
Okay.
Yeah.
You got any to show?
Might be able to find a couple in here actually.
Do it.
Try and figure out how to change pages, but
yeah.
There we go. So I don't know if you can see that.
Yeah, let me zoom in. Here we go.
So yeah, you've got your scores. There's your score mode, and then there's the first 2 chapters of the campaign. So one of them, it's all. This is a prototype one. So where's that gone? There we go. Okay, so like the first chapter is saying a little bit of filler text, and it says your objective is to complete contracts, Killian and Lock Haven. So you just have to go complete those contracts. And then chapter 2 is can you get 4 different types of cards up to their max level? So, which all sounds simple enough, but the thing with the solo mode is you've got a timer going on. So this draw deck is now your timer.
Does it change the number of the cards, or is it always the same?
Always the same cards. Nothing changed in the cards.
But the number of cards, maybe, or no?
No.
Okay.
No, that's always the same.
Okay.
But there's 2 things that change. Is that you ignore this train meeple now. That's gone. And what we do is we draw our cards like you normally do. But once you've taken your 2 actions, you're just going to discard the top card from here. And that's gone. And when this deck runs out and it's all gone, that's the end of the game.
Is it for each action you discard, or just each round?
Each round.
Okay.
So you take your 2 actions, you discard a card. Now you can get these cards back. If you've collected some victory points throughout the game, you can discard 3 of them, and you can bring the top one back. Slow your timer down a little bit.
Oh, right.
And then the other thing that's changed is where we said before you wouldn't get the powers from your train. Well, now you do.
Okay.
Because there's no other train to compete against. So you now be able to load into your own train.
Right. That makes sense, right?
Yeah.
That's very cool. Well, I think that's a pretty good overview. I mean, it's a simpler game, but it has a lot of depth for those who like crunchy decisions, multi-use cards, which is one of my favorite things. Man, I just love it. Like Race for the Galaxy, man. It was like my first one, just my brain burns, like what do I do? What card do I keep? Which ones? So I love that. I like that you have the scoring goals too. That's going to allow people with AP maybe to give them some focus, right? So it's not just wide open.
Yeah.
And 2 solo modes. Is there a co-op, or is it just solo?
Just solo. Yeah, just solo.
Okay.
I should
maybe we could tackle it.
My first design was a co-op. So
right. That was the Solar Sphere, right?
Solar Storm was the co-op.
Solar Storms. Okay, Sphere is the other one. Yeah.
Euro game. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So yeah, man. I don't want to take up too much of your time. I appreciate you, setting time aside for me and everybody watching. So with that being said, check out the campaign and check out Dranda Games for other cool titles by Ayden. And did you want to add anything else before we bounce out of here?
No, that's it. It's just come and check out the campaign, like you said, and
right.
See what you think.
Yeah, man. And hopefully this video help people decide one way or the other. And until next time, we're out of here, man. Peace. I appreciate it.
Yeah, nice one. Thanks for your time.
All right, brother. Yeah, no problem.